As the world prepares to mark International Teachers' Day this weekend, attention is turning to the men and women who stand at the very center of nation building, our teachers in Kenya. Their story of teacher training is closely tied to the history of the premier Kenyatta University, long celebrated as the fortress of education and the country's leading center for nurturing educators. But today, even as learners' numbers rise across schools, the teachers' workforce is under pressure, shrinking in some levels and grappling with welfare concerns that threaten to weaken one of the most critical pillars of society. We get to go through the journey of Kenyatta University's role in shaping teachers, the challenges facing the profession, and the urgent need to restore dignity to these nation builders.
The first teacher institution in Eastern Africa, and by 1973, when we were Constituent College of University of Nairobi, there were attempts to move education to Kenyatta, because here Kenyatta, after it was given to the late Mzee Jomo Kenyatta having been a barrack, there was a secondary school here, and there was an S1 training college.
At the heart of Kenya's academic journey stands a fortress of education, Kenyatta University. Born from the walls of a former British military barracks in 1965, it has for decades been the furnace where dreams are molded into teachers who in turn have molded a nation.
Speaks to the kind of teacher who is able to address emerging issues in the learning environment. This is a teacher who is competent to be able to handle whatever subject that they teach. First of all, you have to be competent. And then besides that, you have to be able to learn skills like collaboration. You have to be creative. You have to be innovative.
From its early days as the Kenyatta College offering secondary teacher training certificates to its transformation into Kenyatta University College in 1970, and finally a fully fledged university in 1985, the story of Kenyatta University is inseparable from the story of Kenya's teaching profession.
We channeled out thousands and thousands of teachers. As you well know, Kenyatta University is a university known for teacher education, and indeed the enrollment in this university is that half of the enrollment are students in education.
Generations have passed through these lecture halls, and yet the challenge that stares Kenya in the eye is as pressing as ever: the shortage of teachers to match the rising tide of learners. Or is it?
At least that is bedeviling the profession, is that teachers have been ignored over time. And if you look at all the professions, teachers are the worst paid.
Teachers remain a major component of our citizenry, meaning that they also have a role to support the growth of the country.
According to the Kenya Demographic Health Survey, the number of teachers in public primary schools shrank from 221,510 in 2022 to 219,727 teachers in 2023. But learner enrollment told a different narrative. Primary school numbers rose past the 10.3 million mark. Secondary schools surged nearly 5%, and pre-primary classrooms welcomed almost 2.9 million little ones. The classrooms are swelling, but the teachers, the guiding hands, the patient listeners, the unseen heroes are thinning out. But why?
Those who train as teachers in sciences end up finding themselves in industries, especially those who have done physics, those who have done chemistry, those who have done biology. When they leave here and go for postgraduate, they end up into the mother departments and now leave teaching. That is what has caused that artificial shortage. Not that we don't have enough teachers. When they go into postgraduate and go into those other professions, you find that they are paid well. What does that tell us?
Kenyatta University has always answered the nation's call, producing not just teachers, but nation builders.
So what we are teaching our learners is not for them to cram, to grasp things to pass on, but we are teaching them a method to be able to be adaptable. We are teaching them critical thinking. We are teaching them, to go with the reality, but not somebody who crams that the Bandus came from Shungwaya, and this will be taught for life.
In 1978, when the University of Nairobi Faculty of Education shifted here, KU became the heartbeat of teacher training, nurturing educators at both undergraduate and postgraduate levels. But today, the call is louder than ever. The shortage is not simply in numbers, it is in recognition, in dignity, in welfare.
Born into the teaching profession, they love teaching. And the teaching is a career that once you are in it, you enjoy it at heart and at your best. So I would say that let the working conditions for teachers be improved, they be paid well, and then you will see how teachers will remain in the profession. Because those who get in the profession, you find they are overworked, there is burnout, and what they do next is just to leave and get into something else.
As methods of teaching evolve with technology, from digital classrooms to AI-powered learning, the human touch of the teacher remains irreplaceable. No algorithm can replace encouragement whispered to a struggling child. No machine can replace the spark of inspiration in a lesson that changes a life.
For project-based learning, creative thinking involves a situation where you are not the one providing information. You're allowing them to think outside the box. So you give them an opportunity to conduct projects, to come up with solutions that are based on real-world problems. So allowing them that chance to think for themselves without giving them or directing the learning, so that you give them an opportunity in their groups to address real-life emerging issues.
For 60 years, Kenyatta University has stood as a citadel of knowledge, flowing out teachers ready, fit, and passionate to meet the academic and economic needs of a growing nation.
Learning happens only when somebody is mentally okay. So we are interested, how do they learn and how do teachers teach? And also we would like a healthy teacher. You cannot have a teacher who has mental issues, talk about burnout, dissatisfaction. They are not able to deliver.
But the country must do more. Teachers must be empowered. Their welfare must be safeguarded. Their working environment must be dignified. For in their hands lie not just lessons, but the very soul of our nation's future.
Talking about 2030. In fact, where we come from, we used to talk about 2015 education for all. It has not come to pass. We are talking about 2030. 2030 is 3 or 4 years away. So we are saying the teacher must be empowered.
As the world pauses on October 5th to mark International Teachers' Day, Kenya must look inward and ask, are we giving enough to those who give us everything?
The welfare of the teachers should not be something that should be blessed.
Emmanuel Kutosi, KUTV.